you some, Gooner.
About to get my jugs out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the finest thing to hit the internet since, Jack Scalfani. It's the Bellhopper Benjamin Show.
You look like Larry David's foreskin, Bovon.
I am your sex-addicted announcer, Bovon Fingerman, and I'm joined by our special guests, Shania and Mark Twain.
Listen, you gotta stop drinking my nail polish remover, Bovon.
Yeah, and you better tighten up your cooking game. That last pizza gave me diverticulitis.
Never! Bah! Now, please welcome your butt-ugly host. His flabby body is home to more parasites than RFK's brain. It's Ballbagger Bennett.
Show us your gun.
Bleh. Okay, gang, we are all caught up on viewer requests, which means today's episode is gonna cover... Oh, Christ. I guess we're doing 1997's Face Off, directed by John Woo. I thought we were gonna do that Ex Machina movie.
Nah, man, we voted that one down.
Yeah, too high class for your channel, Barry.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, the first thing to consider is that there were a lot of potential choices for opposing lead characters Sean Archer and Castor Troy, including Stallone and Schwarzenegger, Denzel and Wesley Snipes, De Niro and Pacino, and even Harrison Ford opposite Michael Douglas. Eventually, though, we ended up with Nicolas Cage as Castor Troy, John Travolta as Sean Archer, and Michael Douglas as an executive producer.
He's not actually in the movie.
Yeah, because back in '97, he was showing up in far better movies like The Game.
Yeah, well, Face Off is directed by John Woo, whom I respected pretty well until I revisited this steaming pile of crap.
Get to the face transplant part, Bald Barry. Ya putz.
Piss off! So the shtick here is that Castor Troy is a ruthless sociopath criminal, and when Cop Daddy Sean Archer got in his way, he tried to give him the old 1,000-yard slug job. Only Castor's shot passes through Sean Archer's upper colon or whatever, and kills Archer's little shit-ass kid.
Bro, that is not a colon shot. Who taught you human fucking anatomy?
So now Archer's got a dead son and a hot topic daughter and a sad wife, and he'll never be able to have a BM without crying.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same premise as Minority Report, except that movie does a far more subtle job.
So, fast forward to current day. Nicolas Cage's character is trying to run some PR on behalf of the Catholic Church by going after underage girls instead of,
Yeah, we get it, Barry. You blasphemous Peckerwood son of a bitch.
And there's a big, dumbass action sequence that establishes rock stars Castor Troy and his brother, Pollux.
Played by David Foster Wallace, who's doing a sizzling impression of Buster Bluth on Downers.
You had a sex sandwich with his wife and his sister the night he was sent here.
Yeah, so the brothers Troy are trying to hijack a plane, but Archer manages to bring them down.
And that's when shit gets weird.
Okay, so Sean Archer and his gaggle of dickhead cops know that the brothers Troy are planning to set off some kind of big-ass anti-personnel bomb, but they don't know where it's supposed to blow. They get the bright idea to... Ah, Jesus Christ. They get the bright idea to cut off Castor Troy's face, cut off Sean Archer's face, and glue Castor's face onto Sean Archer's faceless skull.
Jesus syphilitic Christ, that cannot be the plot.
You gotta be fucking clowning me.
This is worse than a Michael Bay movie.
It's not that bad.
It's just a little face swapping, you schmucks. What's the problem here?
Yeah, wonderful. We're joined by Fly's disgusting little friend, Gooner. Move on. Remind me to take a long, boozy piss all over their little nightclub.
Yeah, well, I love you too, Barry. Hey, you look like the bald version of Pee Wee Herman's neighbor.
Shit ass. So anyway, the whole concept of face swapping makes about as much sense as the lyrics to a goddamn Bon Iver song. In short, there's really no way to suspend your disbelief. Archer and Castor's skulls are not at all similar. Their body types are totally different, and so are their teeth and their jawlines. We could go on and on.
Nah, you got it all wrong, Barry.
Bro, how hard can it be?
Couple of goofs like us wiped it out.
Yeah, degenerates. And in case the face swap conceit wasn't stupid enough, the cops have the bright idea to A, keep the psychopathic killer Castor Troy alive, and B, not tell anyone that Sean Archer's about to go through a medical procedure that will make him absolutely indistinguishable from a psychopathic convict. Not even his trad wife, Joan Allen, gets to know.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure this poses a fundamental civil rights violation.
That's right. Cruel and unusual punishment of the mug.
Yeah, you can't just cut off the face of a detainee and parade around L.A. like Hannibal fucking Lecter.
Yeah, but apparently you can ship him off to an El Salvadorian gulag when they haven't even broken the law.
Hey-yo! We're entering the death throes of this so-called civilization now, folks. It'll all be over soon, thank Christ.
Barry, what's that you drinking?
Yeah, I think they're called grenade juices or whatever. When I was just a little Barry, I used to steal them off the rich kids during lunch. But now I'm a man Barry, so I dump a lot of vodka in there.
Yeah, we used to call those nutcrackers, Barry. Used to drink them all summer long when I lived on Coney
Oh,
Island.
fascinating story, you goddamn bug. Why don't you do us all a kindness and fly back to the good old days?
Barry, has Castor Troy been officially convicted of anything? Doesn't he have to be conscious in order to be properly Mirandized and sentenced? And why aren't there any fetching animals in this stinking movie?
Barry, talk about the stupid face wiping thing Sean Archer's always doing.
Well, it might be the most disturbing element to this whole movie. Who in the fuck pets people's faces like this? It's perverted.
Ah, that's all part of Travolta's whole Scientology thing.
Yeah, and Honest Trailers already did a bit about the face touching, Barry, you unoriginal bastard.
Hey, Barry. Looks like you might have swapped faces with Clint Eastwood's colostomy bag.
Sweet skull fucking dirty bitch Christ.
Barry,
That
you are
burn
cooked to
singed
perfection.
my eyebrows.
Somebody fetch Barry some aloe vera.
Yo, Barry, ain't you gonna plug our nightclub?
Yeah, Barry, we've been crushing it over there, bro.
You sons of bitches. So Archer, who now looks like Castor, needs to infiltrate a high-security prison and grill Pollux to find out the location of the bomb.
Yeah, and the prison is named Erewhon, which I figured out is an anagram for nowhere. What? I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah, dumbest shit I ever heard, Marco. And while we're in it, let's talk about the most moronic fucking prison system ever depicted on film. For starters, the prisoners are all fitted with these dumbass magnetic boots, which really come in handy when they need to stomp each other to dust.
Yeah, well, supposedly they make it easier to lock down the prisoners, but come on. Did these filmmakers have any idea how grossly underfunded our carceral system is? How much would it cost to outfit each prisoner with fancy-ass electromagnets?
Hey, look here. It's the same boots as that stinking Mario movie.
So, can all of you hear these goddamn bugs talking, or is it just me?
Yeah, and while Archer's trying to make friends with the inmates, Castor Troy wakes up.
Oh! I wonder if Castor's gonna want Archer's face.
This shit is trifling, y'all.
And since our buddy Castor's not even being guarded by police, he decides it might be a good idea to hold some doctors hostage so they can attach Archer's face to his head, which currently has no face, because his face has...
Yeah, we understand the concept there, Marco, you shit-ass. Now, Sean Archer's prison escape scene is even more imbecilic than the face-swapping bit, because the only way to get his Mario Brothers boots off is to undergo electroshock treatment. And for some reason, the gods decide it's wise to keep a gallon-sized jug of sulfuric acid out in the open. You know, in case one of the violent, unhinged prisoners decides to do some arts and crafts.
Holy toe job! That cabinet says engine! That means this film takes place in the same cinematic universe as Jurassic Park.
If I hear one more of you asswipes use the phrase cinematic universe, our next review's gonna be Mortal Kombat 2.
Too bad you will die.
Suck your own wet spot,
Yo, that's
Barry.
pretty fucked up,
So
Barry.
not cool to
you
joke
need to
about
take
that,
it easy,
Barry.
bro.
Anyway, there's a whole prison riot sequence, and we're supposed to believe that Archer escapes both the guards and this deadly-ass prison helicopter. Jesus Christ, this place's budget must be insane. But I guess Shorty Sean swims back to L.A. without being eaten by sharks or seals or whatever.
Meanwhile, Castor Troy's getting used to prancing around town with Archer's butt chin, and he decides he can advance his interests well enough by pretending to be a Fed. Not to mention banging Archer's wife.
Yeah, He even manages to be a halfway decent dad by beating the piss out of this guy who tries to take advantage of Archer's hot topic daughter.
Wait, Barry, who is that guy?
Oh, God, it's him. It's Danny Masterson.
What? Well, smack my scrote!
Well, sweet dirty Christ, it's official. Life and art are locked in an endless struggle for primacy, and which reflects which.
Stop trying to sound like Al, Barry. Bro, you couldn't even
graduate from community college, Barry.
Yeah. So the rest of the movie plays itself out in somewhat predictable cat and mouse fashion. Asswipes. Archer has to convince his wife Eve that he is in fact Archer, and not the psychopath who made it impossible for their son Michael to get that big football scholarship. Evie eventually learns the truth when she confirms that her husband now has the wrong blood type.
Dirty mother of God. His A1C is 8.1.
So?
That means Castor Troy has been full-on diabetic for at least a few months now. I guess he really does like to eat peaches.
Why does Bovon know all this random shit?
'Cause he's like 1,000 years old, dumbass. And why does Eve need to do a blood test in the first place? Can't she tell that her husband's dong looks totally different now?
Honest Trailers already made a similar joke, you little shit. Now who's unoriginal? Anyway, there's a lot of big, goofy, expensive action in this movie. And even though Sean Archer's a cop, he ends up doling out a number of horrific injuries to his co-workers. And there's also a lot of heavy-handed symbolism. Get it, asswipes? They're at war with themselves. And, see this guy here? This guy Nick Cassavetes? So, he plays Dietrich Sasha, Castor Troy's friend and dealer, though he's also the brother of Sasha Sasha, played by Gina Gershon. Let's just say that prior to their respective deaths, Dietrich and Sasha have a complicated relationship.
Oh, I bet you enjoyed that scene. Didn't you, Barry?
Ooh, Barry!
Ha! Suck it, Barry! You friggin' lush!
I think I see a very tiny bulge in the front of your filthy suit.
Piss off, you goddamn jackals! So, as you may or may not know, Nick Cassavetes is also a fairly accomplished director.
What did he direct? Dante's Peak or something?
Or maybe Snake Eyes?
I gave my word to someone. A man's word means nothing to you.
He actually directed The Notebook, which also features that hot honeypot, Joan Allen.
Aw, come on, man.
Go write about it in your diary.
Fat-faced Muppet.
That shit is so goddamn boring.
Blow it out your ass, Barry.
It's actually a pretty solid movie, but never mind, you goddamn Philistines. You're all too stupid to...
And Barry?
Time to get paid!
Okay, gang. Every now and then we like to appeal to the hippie demographic. You know? The viewers who don't use deodorant and like to burn ear candles and pay for chelation treatments and copper knee braces or whatever. Say hello to the interior crystal from our good friends at Smegman's. These babies are hefty, and they're made of 100% raw, organically grown quartz. Listen, a number of today's top grifters believe that these gorgeous gems are endowed with magical healing properties.
Well, they are pretty.
But the true power of a Smegman's interior crystal only becomes activated when it's applied internally. Once the crystal reaches 98 degrees Fahrenheit, the entire molecular lattice becomes rearranged and begins to radiate a healing frequency of ionic energy.
Well, yeah, I'll be damned. Right, Gunnar?
Yeah. I can't wait to order my interior crystal.
The Aztecs knew all about these power crystals, and that dastardly Cortez tried his best to replicate their technology by commissioning the production of some crystal cock rings. But we all know those don't really work. Anyway, that's enough history. Listen, folks. Several recent guests of the Joe Rogan podcast can confirm that the interior crystal has the potential to minimize all forms of cancer, improve the symptoms of halitosis, remove heavy metals and other toxins from your body, alleviate arthritis, and completely nullify that stink piss thing that happens after you eat asparagus.
Or you drink a lot of booze.
The interior crystal is 100% hypoallergenic, and you can use it at your workplace without bothering your coworkers.
I guess I don't get it, Bovan. These suckers are pretty big.
Yeah, how are folks supposed to keep that thing in their mouth without breaking their teeth?
I never said it's supposed to go in your mouth. I said it needs to be taken internally.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There.
Not trying to complain here, folks, but these things are kind of pointy.
Soldier on, Barry. It's a small price to pay for fresh breath. Okay, folks, the promo code is the Dank Crystal.
Game on!
Okay, so if you know anything about John Woo or action movies, you know damn well that we gotta close this stinking movie with a big, dramatic,
Face off!
Bovan. You know, every night I pray that the disgusting roundworms complete their great migration from your colon to that dry, dusty time capsule that houses your stupid-ass brain.
Barry, one day I'll tell you the story of all the scandalous bodily surfaces I've cleaned with your dollar store toothbrush.
The joke's on you, shit-ass. I stopped brushing my teeth months ago. So, the big fight sequence starts at the funeral of Sean Archer's boss, who has been recently eliminated by Castor Troy. We get a whole litany of ham-fisted religious symbolism, and in case the premise of this movie was too goddamn subtle for you people, John Woo decides to beat us over the head with thematic implications. So there's a whole lot of gunplay and doves and shit, and eventually Archer and Castor end up having a good old-fashioned boat chase. But of course, Archer's gonna come out on top, and I guess since he's out of bullets, he has to get creative.
Oh, I get it! Because Archer is an archer! And Pollux and Castor are like the characters from Greek mythology. This is pure art, Barry! What a fine movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in the stupidest possible universe. Yet, so the rest of this cinematic groin kick plays out exactly like you'd expect. Sean Archer gets his old face back, and all is right with the world. And they even adopt Castor Troy's little kid, who has the same stupid-ass mushroom haircut as Sean's dead son. And now this deranged family gets to traumatize another child with their disturbing face-petting routine.
You know, this movie would actually be way more interesting if they weren't able to get Archer's face back. What if he had to spend the rest of his life going around with the Nicolas Cage face?
Yeah. Would his wife and daughter ever be able to look him in the face?
Sorry, that's a little too cerebral for a late 90s John Woo shit flick. Let's hear from that lowlife, Al. Hey, Al, are you gonna grace us with one of your pretentious lectures?
Face Off. That irreverent fever dream of a film where Johnny John Travolta becomes Nicolas Cage and Nicolas Cage becomes John Travolta. This might seem like pure, prurient, action-based slop, and yet it approaches a profound truth about the nature of identity. For what are we, really, but human masks animated by consciousness? Just ask our good friend Slavoj.
No, it's not that your public masks the real person behind. What you construct as a real person behind, you construct it in order to obfuscate and render tolerable to yourself the horrors you are doing in your public role. Our private inner truth is the true mask.
I think he's mostly on the right track. His main point is that by removing the mask, we do not somehow reveal who we truly are underneath. Rather, the very concept of the self is yet another mask, another projection. Anyway, in the modern age, we begin to grow skeptical of our own identity. No longer bound by tribe, tradition, or even physical form, we flitter from persona to persona. Online, offline, at work, at play, wearing ourselves like costumes in a cosmic rendition of Eyes Wide Shut. Face Off dramatizes both the beauty and the horror of the ongoing ballet from which identity emerges. Only when the faces have been successfully swapped do we finally realize that the body is not the self. And the self, much like the molecules that make up our world, is neither stable nor rigid. Rather, our very identity emerges from a chaos of wiggles and instability. We should think of this not as a source of anxiety, but as a liberation of sorts. Foolishly, most of us spend far too much effort clinging to identity like a raft in turbulent waters, forgetting that the river is us too. We are not fixed points, but an ongoing cascade of processes, ever changing, ever becoming.
You are privy to a great becoming, and you recognize nothing.
In a world where technology can change our appearance, our voice, our very self-projection, the film begs an exquisite question. If we can become someone else, were we ever truly anyone at all?
Yeah. Oh, you're so profound, Al. Thanks for casting your intellectual pearls before us swine-like peasants. Pretentious asswipe. Anyway, that's all we got for now, folks. Tune in next time. In honor of Face Off, we're gonna live stream all the Faces of Death movies. And then, since we know everybody's broke as shit, Marco's gonna teach us all how to raise our own delicious krill using common household materials. Folks, stick with Bankrupt Barry and you'll be up to your butt blisters in krill casserole before you can say anaphylactic shock.
They make my tongue swell up like a very sexy toad.
Yeah, well, they also taste like shit. But just wait till you see the prices on those traditional shrimp from the supermarket. Shit ass! Jesus, pickle frying Christ! What is that goddamn noise? Nasty little asswipe.
Hey! Damn it, Barry! Don't be sneaking up on folks with that ugly mug of yours!
Disgusting
You broke
little
bastard!
goddamn pest.
Yeah, bro, we're trying to get laid here. Man, you think anyone wants to get naked after looking at you and your goiter?
Tell you one thing, we're gonna see who's so goddamn
Oh,
funny.
Barry,
No.
what are you doing now?
No!
The crystal
Right!
does nothing.
We gotta piss up!
Population, go to lockdown.
All that lockdown.
Yeah, you're gonna want to wait at least 45 minutes.
Give your lady some face!
Yeah, okay.
Hey, who's this loser? Yeah, it's just that poor mouth YouTube guy. He's off to El Salvador.
How about a nice meat salad?
You will live to see the city of your birth pulled down to the last stone.
A rose is a rose is a rose.